Started.
Okay. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on AI Agentic OCR for data analysis and facilitation of cross-border exchange. My name is Alexey Bondarenko. I'm an international consultant with ESCAP, and I will be moderating the session today. This webinar is organized with our partner, International Chamber of Commerce, Asian Development Bank, and World Customs Organization as a part of webinar series on cross-border paperless trade. Before we get started, just a few quick housekeeping notes. This session is being recorded and all participants are muted by default. You are very welcome to submit your questions at any time using the Q&A function, and we will set aside a dedicated 30 minutes interactive Q&A towards the end of the webinar. We are really pleased to see participants joining us today from Customs Administration, international organizations, the public and private sector, as well as academia. Today's discussion focuses on how AI-powered optical character recognition and agentic AI system are reshaping the way trade documents are processed, verified, and analyzed in cross-border transactions. While OCR has been used for years, we're now seeing a shift towards agent-based AI systems that do more than just extract text. This evolution has a major implication for customs automation, single window interoperability, supply chain compliance, and digital trust. To open the session and frame these opportunities and challenges, it's my pleasure to invite Ms. Pamela Ma, Managing Director of the Digital Standard Initiative at the International Chamber of Commerce. Pamela, thank you very much for joining us today. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Alexei, and thank you to the webinar speakers for sharing your expertise today. This webinar is very, very timely given the WTO has published its report on the potential impact of AI on trade, where they cited a potential 14% expansion of global trade and significant cost savings from now until 2040. But of course, they raised a number of issues, which I hope will be discussed in today's webinar. From the DSI's perspective, we have spent a long time on standards alignment because that has for many years been one of the big blockers for why don't more organizations go digital. It's because there's too many standards, many of them don't align, it's too complex, and so on. Now, as we're actually approaching a very clear statement of data standards for the international trade and supply chain, focusing on key trade documents, we are now also, through AI, gaining the ability to more easily translate and more easily interoperate between same document, different standards. And and for anyone who has worked in the space, there could be, up to 20 to 30 different standards for a given trade document and its embedded data. So the capability of interoperation at scale is something that we're really relying on agentic AI to solve, including OCR. So it's a process of creating trade documents in the right standard, of ingesting trade documents and the data in the right standard, and being able to move between standards given different platforms and different ERP system requirements. We've already proven that the technology is not what's holding us back. Actually, the technology is able to interoperate from one document type to another and one data family to another. So from a trade perspective, it's not a technology issue. It always returns to the same kind of problems, which is, can systems connect? Can they interoperate? Is the legal framework allowing this? And today with AI, one by one, these are actually being really resolved. And so for me, I think we are at a very promising time in the digital trade journey because for once, we actually see the possibility to solve this big systems compatibility issue being solved. Now, Of course, it'll be down to human willingness to change, willingness to implement new technologies. And so I hope the speakers today will also talk about not just the potential of what technology can do, but the potential of how do we use technology to give people the confidence that is required for them to step into a somewhat different, somewhat unknown future, but one that which can expand trade and expand inclusivity for everyone. So with that, maybe just turn it over to the speakers for their presentation. And please put your comments and questions into the chat box, and we're really hoping that you have some great interaction. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pamela. Actually, it's interesting that we are talking about the standards and interoperability and all of this thought-provoking, the looking forward technologies. But when this particular time I have announced the webinar topic, I got a lot of messages under this post. And they say, why do you consider OCR? It's a 20 plus years technologies. It's a paper-based, you're working with paper and other stuff. But at the same time, I realized that the reality is this, it is like this, that a lot of traders are still using a lot of papers in the cross-border exchange. And that's why we need to do something with this. If we do have a lot of papers, we have technologies which can also help us to extract the data and to use in the different system within the customs and traders systems. So we have to consider this solution as well. Probably it will be like a step forward, but the necessary step to digitalize all the documents in international trade. So for me, it was really interesting to see also how the real technologies are applied, and customs should work with a lot of documents. We need to consider how it's going on in the practice and what can be the next step for this type of problem, to take the problem and to solve it. So I'm really happy that we have our panel today. Each speaker will have about 10 minutes to share perspective and practical insight, after which we will open the floor for the discussion. And let me briefly introduce our distinguished panelists. Please refer to the webinar page to have a look at their impressive bios. We have with us Mr. Yanal Elkanesh, Division Director of IT, Abu Dhabi Customs, Mr. Isan Endrinal, Indonesian National Single Window, Mr. Sven Meyer at from Dockart, and Mr. Mazen Abu Al-Ghanam from Strategy Object. I would like to start with Mr. Yanal Al-Qassen from Abu Dhabi Customs. Yanal, Abu Dhabi Customs has been at the forefront of digital transformation. Could you share your experience with AI-powered document processing and automated data extraction in customs operations, including lessons learned and operational impacts? Thank you very much, Yanal. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Alexei. Thank you so much, Pamela, for this introduction. And thank you so much for giving Abu Dhabi Customs the opportunity to be part of this panel. And would like also to thank my colleagues in the panel for giving me the chance to be the first one who's sharing Abu Dhabi Customs in United Arab Emirates experience in the AI-powered document processing and automation, which related to data extraction in customs operation. So before I start with the presentation, I would like to emphasize on a very important thing that we in Abu Dhabi Customs did before we decided to move forward with the digital transformation in Abu Dhabi Customs. The story started for the fast and expedited transformation in the digital, when we start looking for the foundation and what are the essential parts and the stakeholders and players in the digital transformation. So the decision at that time was, yes, digital transformation is there since long time back. And the idea is how to utilize the max of the digital transformation in a successful journey. So we started with dividing the transformation into 4 pillars. The first pillar is the mindset and the strategy. Do we have a strategy, clear strategy for the transformation? Do we have a mindset that accepts the change? And when we decided, yes, we have, we did a very nice weightage of the starting point of the digital transformation. We formed a PMO office, a roadmap, and we put plans for a project that will expedite the digital transformation. The second thing, and this is required in all environments, we asked the question, do we have a business processes documented? When we evaluated our situation, we found that, yes, we have it, but it's not documented. So the starting point was documenting all operational business processes. Then we moved to the human. Do we have a human or a people who's ready to adapt this change into full digitization? And we worked at that time on the enablement and capability building. Then we moved at the end with a percent of 10% of this total pillars to adapt the technology and that start the technology. We reached a high level internally, locally in UAE, as well as internationally, because we followed this structured way of the digital transformation adaptation. Part of the digital transformation, we start talking about the AI. And everybody knows that AI at the earliest stage started with RPAs, machine learning, data analytics, and then the world start talking about 2 years back about AI generative and AI agentic. And here we had a stop to decide, are we going to adapt the AI to replace the human, or we have another vision? So what you see here is our AI vision Abu Dhabi Customs, where we said we are not bringing AI to replace humans. We are bringing AI to utilize the humans' expertise in a better way and stop onboarding more people, making our execution faster, more accurate, and in a less time for the customer. So we started with this vision to move forward with building use cases that the core of it is our operation humans, our employees, because without them, we will not be able to make the AI run in the way that we expected. Today, I will share with you 2 use cases because we have only 10 minutes that really reflects how we adapted the AI in our operation. One is a customer-oriented, and the second one is employee-oriented. So allow me to start with the first use case in an interactive way, which is the customer-related use case. And it is specifically self-clearance for unrestricted goods. How we decided that we want to go for this use case to use the AI to extract the details and the data and the information from the documents, fill it in the forms, and give it for the end user or the customer to review it and submit without having any effort in filling any information. We defined what is the problem. The problem was manual declaration causes delays and errors. Everybody knows that a declaration is a process that needs to fill a lot of information, which is subject to have errors, to make errors, as well as taking long time. So we analyzed with the customers themselves, what's your need, how we can help, and we reached into a conclusion that we can refine the fields into the fields that really needed and consider the goods that are not restricted for any approval or not required for any approval. And this is the smart start, is to decide which use case to follow. You can see that the customer on the live use case today on our channels, and it's optional, not mandatory, can upload the documents that usually they will upload into the system, as well as they will use it to fill the fields that related for the declaration, like the invoices, certificates of origin, bill of ladings, as well as the backing list. By taking a photo from their mobile camera or a scan and upload the files into the AI service, the system in the back end will start reading, extracting, using the OCR to the fields that need to be filled as a mandatory and optional, depend on the availability of the optional information, and make it ready for the customer to review it. However, some invoices, and we know some self-clearance, and we targeted self-clearance for the people who are not experts with the clearance process, they may put a wrong HS code. So here the AI, based on the descriptions from the invoices or the documents uploaded, can predict which HS codes are the right HS codes selected, and also show it for the customer and the end user. In an interactive way, the AI will tell the customer, thank you for uploading the documents. We found from the documents this information and we filled it for you, as well as this is the HS code that we expect is the right HS code. Do you agree? If he agreed, we will ask to submit, and once submitted, it will run to the system, and in the back end, the AI will verify it again for another verification level and give the decision for the customer or the guidance, the customer, that your application is submitted. However, it will go to the backend system and our employees can review it. It's either auto-approved or it is pending for another clarifications on more information, or it's get rejected. What does this give for our customers and for our operation team? It is a fast clearance. It's give higher accuracy and human control preserved. So we are depending on a technology and having proper KPIs and monitoring approach in the cycle of the AI implementation. If we will go for the another use case, or the second use case, which is related to the employee, it came from the post-clearance audit team, where they kept asking our HR team that we need more resources to help in finishing reviewing all the submitted declarations after the release. And usually business grow, number of transactions increasing, but do they able to change the number of employees to adapt and fulfill all the revisions for all declarations? This is not always possible, because the onboarding cycle of a new employees, especially in the government, is not an easy step. So based on an internal discussion with the section of the post-clearance audit and the HR team, we defined the problem that manual audits lack speed, consistency is not there, and the accuracy is always something that potentially to not be fulfilled all the time due to the shortage on the manpower. So what we did, we categorized the system to go into the back end, extract all transaction that is released, and extract all the documents to the fields that built on the system, and start comparing the submitted fields from the customer end or from the integrations with the field extracted from the document, and start evaluating based on the rules that we said our employees are the experts and will keep teaching the AI what to do in specific scenarios. After teaching the AI multiple scenarios and start extracting, the transactions get the document, the audit criteria selection by the AI based on the evaluation that our experts in the post-audit taught it for the AI, and then fill the details, do the evaluation, and give recommendation for our employees. Giving this recommendation is the first step to ensure that the AI is working in a perfect way, or at least with a high percentage of accuracy. Where this took us into a next level that we already plan to be configured if we reach a percentage of transaction that fully comply between the AI decision and the post-audit experts in Abu Dhabi Customs, that the decision will be made automatically by the AI. And this will be followed in the next or the third level, third stage, that the action like the shortage violation get extracted and executed in the back end using the AI. This took also at the end. Now we started in Abu Dhabi Customs to create jobs with the titles as an AI in the sections, not humans, to make sure that we have a proper governance that belong to the ethical use and to the right way of authorizing the AI to do the work with the clear delivery as part of the this use case, which is the efficiency audits, accuracy flagging, human expertise retained for teaching the AI. That's all from my side. I don't want to take my colleagues' time. So thank you so much, and we'll be available for the question in the right time during this webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Yanal. It's really great to see this practical insight from you. And I have an immediate question, if you don't mind. Is this practical use cases which you shared already in use, or it's a conceptual stage?
No, it's implemented in October 2025. And today it's on the live environment. We have been get into a very good level in teaching the AI and the post-audit, and we could now reach 2% of the unrestricted goods service request or declaration request submitted by the AI from the published service for the end customers. So both are live.
It's really great. And am I right that Abu Dhabi Custom is providing this service for the traders? So any trader can use this service already to analyze their documents and to fulfill the declaration based on the real documents they are using.
Yeah, the first use case, yes, it is targeted for the customers and only for the customers who are our traders, regardless they are individuals or companies. But the second one, it is internally to help our post-audit employees doing their job in a faster way.
And the last, probably the quick question is, do you request to send the PDF copies of these documents along with the declaration in order to analyze it at the post-audit stage?
The only thing we ask the customer is to upload the document and nothing else. The AI will read, yes, definitely. Definitely, it will be saved in the backend.
Okay, thank you so much, Yanal. I already see many questions in the chat. If you have time, you can address them in the Q&A, and I will pick up some questions to you at the end of the webinar. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Let me now turn to Mr. Ishan Andrinal from Indonesia National Single Window. Ishan, from single window perspective, OCR often sits at intersection between document digitization and structured data exchange. Could you share Indonesian National Single Window strategic view, particularly on OCR challenges and transition toward more structured, interoperable data models? The floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Alexi. Thank you, Pamela, for the introduction, and it's great to be participating in this webinar. Good afternoon. My name is Ihsan Andrinal. I present the Indonesia National Single Window Agency. I'm pleased to be here to talk about challenge in OCR in Indonesia Single Window perspective. Next slide, please. First of all, to give a context for my presentation, let me introduce Indonesia Single Window technology choices. We have to understand our ecosystem. We operate massive hubs through 3 key components. First is .NET. We integrate with more than 15 government agencies. This streamlines export and import licensing. For traders, this means navigating multiple agencies seamlessly through a single platform. The second one is a Portnet. This is our logistic ecosystem hub. Connect government agencies with terminal operators, shipping lines, and banks. It ensures efficiency and transparency in all port-related activities. The next one is our electronic data exchange system. It acts as the gateway connecting Indonesia with Asian and global partners. And our primary approach to handling this ecosystem as technology is using direct data exchange via web services or API. However, we realize that web services covers just for the system-to-system part. So the next question is, what about the documents that are still paper-based or unstructured PDFs? This is where we identify a gap. Next slide, please. To close this gap, specifically for documents like invoices that are not yet fully standardized, we explore OCR. Our initial hypothesis was to use OCR as a complementary tool to our web services. The goal was to automate data entry for traders, reducing their manual burden for documents that couldn't be exchanged via API. Back in 2019, we launched a research project to extract text from invoices. At the time, the ecosystem was different. We utilized Google Vision services. It was challenging. The tools were powerful but lacked comprehensive documentation. At the time, it's still in beta version. While the service was free to access, it was paid per API hit, which raised scalability concerns. Of course, right now in 2026, the situation is different. The technology development rapidly changed since then. Next slide, please. So, why did we stop? It wasn't just technical, in my opinion. There are some challenges here. First challenge is the format chaos. Why? We found that we had to map document templates one by one. Imagine the variability of invoice formats from hundreds of trading partners countries. It was practically impossible to standardize them all. The OCR engine struggled when invoice layout changed slightly. Retraining the model for every vendor update slowed down our processing time. So the biggest hurdle wasn't the cost. It was the complexity of mapping that threatened our SLA. In a single window environment, meeting the SLA is mandatory. The next challenge is the legal liability. This is the most critical point for governance. If an AI misreads a harmonious system code, example like from 0 to 8, with the worst case scenario where the traders get fined, who is responsible, the trader or the system itself? This led us to a critical realization regarding accuracy versus risk. In the public sector, specifically customs, an accuracy rate of 90% or 95% is considered good for OCR. But it is still not good enough for us as a government. We realize that relying on probabilistic technology like OCR for legal declaration creates a liability gray area that governments should avoid. The last challenge is the efficiency paradox. We calculate the cost of verification. We discover that the human effort required to verify and correct the OCR result was almost equal to the effort of manual input. It creates additional validation steps after extraction rather than removing them. Because of these factors, we decided not to proceed with the OCR projects. The next slide, please. So what was the solution? We back to our proven approach, standardization. We focus our resources on standardized data exchange. The example is our electronic certificate of origin within the ASEAN single window. We converting documents into standardized XML and exchanging them via secure gateways. We achieve what OCR couldn't, 100% data trust. The data received is exactly what was said, no guessing. The COO is integrated directly into the import custom declaration flow. This makes the custom officer's job much easier. They don't have to read a document. They see validated data on their screen. This builds trust and speed up clearance significantly. Since 2020, we process over 100,000 transactions annually and have grown steadily every year with China, Japan, South Korea, and ASEAN partners. This proves that for G2G context, standardized pipelines are more reliable than image recognition. Next slide, please. So does it mean OCR is useless? No, I think it's just about right tool and the right place. Based on our evaluation, OCR is not suitable for transactional data that requires 100% precision, such as for custom clearance. However, I think OCR is excellent for supporting document or post-clearance audits, such as creating searchable archive for audit trails, or extracting non-critical metadata from BL for statistical analysis, not for calculating taxes. So use OCR for the analysis. The next slide, please. Moving forward to AI, Indonesia Single Window have mapped our AI journey into two distinct phases to ensure we don't just follow the hype. The first phase, this is the foundation. This is our current priority. And the core is the data pipeline. This is the most important thing. Through forcing the standardization through API XML to ensure clean data lakes. We know that good AI comes from good data. Without this, AI is hallucinating. Currently, we are cleaning and standardizing our data lakes. The next is infrastructure. We are laying the foundation by securing high-performance cloud computing suitable for AI workloads. We are fully supported by our Ministry of Finance. And I believe the next important thing as the foundation is the people itself. Currently, we are using AI tools like Cloud, Gemini to assist our analysts in designing system, our developers in coding, or our tester in testing to make our internal delivery faster. This is done to familiarize our team with working and exploring using AI. Furthermore, we equip ourselves with courses related to AI. The next phase is strategic implementation. We are identifying where AI adds real value. We are looking at risk management field, like where once data is clean, we will deploy machine learning for fraud detection and profiling high-risk traders. The next use case like service automation, where we can develop generative AI chatbots to handle thousands of trader inquiries 24/7. The next slide, please. Yeah, this is the last slide. The key takeaways. We learned that building an AI ecosystem in the government sector is complex, involving many stakeholders and services. So the key lesson for us is the data pipeline is the foundation. We are currently focusing on building a robust data pipeline. We believe this is a prerequisite before we can launch effective AI services. The data itself can be sourced from standardized data exchange, API XML, while OCR serves as a secondary source for non-transactional documents. However, important to decide when we use a specific approach to solve a specific case based on its characteristic. So it will improve the trust and confidence of the users and our related stakeholders. Lastly, we do not want to get trapped in AI buzzwords, adopting AI without understanding what problem we are trying to solve. Our goal is responsible AI built on clean, structured, and standardized data. Okay, thank you for me. Thank you for having me. Back to you, Alexi.
Thank you very much, Hassan. It's a very practical experience, and actually, I was thinking that it's confirmed and pretty much in line with the ESCAP strategy. As you know, we are promoting cross-border paperless trade through the agreement, and we try to convince countries and our member states to switch to electronic cross-border information exchange for the main documents like electronic certificate of origin, a FIDO solution, um, um, electronic bill of lading, and many other documents. That's why we have issued recently the guidelines about that. And we understand that the XML and standardized information exchange is really the way forward. But at the same time, we understand that some of the documents will never be digitized at that level. Especially it's about B2B documents, which is, as you said, very, very vary in terms of standards. And it will be really difficult to convince every trader to use the same standards of the document. That's why probably there is a way for OCR. But actually, you've mentioned the real critical dilemma. What if the validation is taking more time and more costly than the OCR we can get? And this the small question to you right now, that do you believe that new AI agentic stuff can really reduce the validation step and can make the OCR, better extract data and can to really analyze the data before it will be submitted to the government agency? What do you think? Is it any beneficial to use a new technologies plus OCR?
For now, I think it's so tricky, Alexei, because as long as the concern is the accuracy itself. If the logic of AI itself can make sure it can extract the data 100% accurate, especially like to interpret a harmonious system code specifically for that. It's hard to us to use it in current technology. But I believe in following time, the next future, I think the AI will develop to advance where its logic can develop to understand more accurate, to interpret the image more precision. So, but again, for now, for track need accuracy, we use standardized data exchange.
It's understandable. Actually, I was quite surprised that Abu Dhabi Custom has provided a service based on AI to analyze the data within the document, because usually government agencies, they would like to have already filled the form, right? It's already filled the form. So they don't care how trader will fill in this form. And usually it's done by the private sector, all of the services for traders to analyze data, to extract data, to fill in the declaration and other forms for the government agency. That's why it's interesting to hear probably the private sector views, because there are already a lot of services exist based on AI, Agentic, and other OCR technologies, which can do this type of work and which can really support traders in order to prepare all the documents for the government agencies. And this, related to this, I would really like to move to our next speaker, Sven Meyer from DocHart. Sven is from private sector and solution provider perspective. How is AI-driven document extraction and workflow automation transforming logistic and supply chain operation? And where do you see the biggest value today of using these technologies? Thank you. Sven, that you're with us, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alexei. Really good question. And also thank you for the invitation to present here today. I'm going to answer your question. in the coming 10 minutes. My name is Sven. I'm the co-founder of Dockhart, and we are an AI company focused on smart document processing and logistics. Today, I want to give you a very practical view on what AI actually does in day-to-day logistics operations. Not theory, but real-life use cases, what we automate, how we do it, and most important, what the operational impact is. So the presentation is about the operational impact of AI in logistics. When we talk about global trade, one thing becomes very clear. Global trade still runs on paper. On average, one container shipment generates around 50 documents. Those documents are shared between many different stakeholders. On a global level, this results in more than 25 billion documents per year. And one of the biggest causes of delay in global trade is still manual document checks, handover, and rework. So from Dockhart's perspective, paper is not disappearing from global trade in the next 2 to 5 years. So instead of waiting for paper to disappear, we do something else. We turn documents into data, from documents to data, from manual work to automated processing. What we see today are many concrete use cases where AI automation delivers real value. We currently have more than 10 use cases live with clients across Europe, UK, and Turkey, but all within logistics. The number one use case we see at this moment is the preparation for custom declarations. To be very clear, we do not automate the full custom declaration itself. We focus on the preparation phase. The part where a custom expert has to collect all the information from different documents. What we do here is actually AI document extraction, data validation and matching, context understanding of the documents, and for example, as well, restructuring of information. All of this we tailor to the client and deliver directly into the system. This actually allows the declarant to focus on what really matters, applying their expertise and judgment. Another really big use case at the moment is invoice matching, and then especially in freight forwarding. Some of our clients, they receive thousands of invoices per week, all of which must be matched correctly with their internal system. This used to be fully manual and very time-consuming work. We automate this end-to-end using AI extraction and data matching with a very high accuracy, fully integrated into the system, and essentially, this is a robot working in the background. We also automate multiple warehouse processes for both the inbound and outbound. A lot of warehouse communication still happens via email, and part of the information is then in email, and part of the information is in the attachments. We extract and match both the data from the email and the attachment. We match them, are they consistent, and make sure there is no rework needed. And finally, another use case is the container booking process, where we ensure that all the required information is extracted and structured so the booking process can start immediately. From these use cases, the key question is always, is AI really delivering value? So what do we see in practice is a really big time reduction. A time reduction up to 95% by automating the full process, but also very important and really high data accuracy. We have like a data accuracy up to 97%. Usually when we start with a new client, we start at 80% and then we improve that level to the 97%. This is not a work or a project for months, but this is done within 2 to 6 weeks. And an implementation time is only 1 to 3 weeks, also not months or years anymore. Another very often overlooked impact is less rework. Wrong data leads to corrections, emails, and delays. We typically see 30 to 60% fewer rework cycles, and the remaining edge cases still need some human handling, and that's also fine. Next to this, automation also gives you a full audit trail by default. scalability without adding staff, and much more operational control. So to make this more concrete, this slide shows the work before and after the automation. Before, documents arrive via email, SharePoint, or any shared folder. A human opens them, searches for data, types everything over, matches field, and fixes errors by emailing back and forth. After, this entire flow is automated using AI extraction and workflow automation. AI can actually handle CMRs, transport orders, packing list, delivery notes, invoices, credit notes, custom declarations, certificates, proof of delivery, order confirmations, Excel files, bill of lading, basically any logistic document. And the process is automated end to end. I also prepared a very short demo because I always know that slides give you a bit of a story, but when you can share it in a demo, you can believe it very well. And I think it fits the time today. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to, do you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
This is the workflow automation we have. I prepared a short email that I sent to the workflow. I added 2 attachments. Those are both 2 PDFs. I opened them here. This is the invoice where there is like some information in, and there's also an example bill of lading. I will email this to a certain email address. When I go to the workflow here, what we do in the workflow is we can automate any kind of process. So now this workflow is going to be triggered by this email. And then he's going to recognize what is in the document, what is in the email, what is like there's an email body, and there's as well some attachments. So he knows what to do. He's going to read the email, he's going to extract the data from the documents, and there's some matching involved. In this example as well, because we only have 10 minutes and I prepped 2 minutes for the demo, we are matching the quantities of the email and attachments to see if those are right. It is mapping the data in a correct format and actually changing it to a CSV, and then sends back you an email with the matched data. When the data is not matched, he will send you back a failed email. So you can imagine when all the rework that's done in all this with this clients, you can actually automate that, because when it's not correct, we send back an email to the customer to please do it again. So we see this is the email I just sent. It is still in progress. It is AI working, and we always know it's different. So sometimes AI is doing it in only 34 seconds, and yesterday evening he needed 2 minutes. It's almost like human, that sometimes it's faster and sometimes it's slower. And I expected it will be a little bit slow today because we are in a demo. That's why I already prepped here an email. So this is actually an email that's sent back, and it says it's failed to match. That means that the quantities numbers were not correct. And here you see actually the exported data of the documents, and I can open this in CSV. And there you can see that he extracted all the data from the PDF documents. And this is done in normally in a couple of seconds or maybe max a minute. So this is how this is working in real life. And you can imagine that you can actually, now it is completed. You can make any kind of custom workflow that you want and add a lot of AI into that. Going back to the presentation and my last slide, where I just want to highlight a little bit to summarize. We are moving from a manual world to an automated world. And from Docker's perspective, teams are shifting from manual work as well to AI-driven processes. And actually, why do they do that? Because it's faster, it's seconds, and it's 24/7 available. You have a way higher accuracy. It's more accurate than humans working. It scales without limits. The full process is visible, so you are compliant, and you always have like a trail back, and it's easy to implement. It's not years or months anymore, but it is done within days or weeks. So no longer big IT complex, but the operational impact is really, really huge. That's the story of Dockhart. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's actually a very insightful story, I would say. And I have like immediate question to you: who is your clients that who really give you a demand for this type of services?
Our clients are logistics companies around Europe, mostly. So we have a lot of custom clients, but a lot of freight forwarders, warehouses. We are really specialized in logistics, so we can become very good on those kind of documents. And we see like a big variety of clients. So those are the smaller companies, but we also work for some really big companies.
Okay. Am I right that you don't need to be a programmer to use this solution from your company? You just need to put the as you presented.
Yeah, it is. I'm also not a developer. Even for me, it is possible to make an own workflow, and also to make my own data extraction configuration, and to test it and to improve it. Yes.
And I also saw that the documents you send to the system, it's quite clean. So no stamps, no the difficulties for OCR to extract data. What if the document will be stamped or something? Do you think that the quality of the data will be poor, or the system can do the work?
So we see with our live clients that we actually count the number of different layouts, and so we see that they have thousands of different layouts. We see that we can still keep up the high accuracy. There are always some documents which are very unique. There we can actually dive into to learn AI to handle them more better. And that is still possible. So we are used to having documents with stamps and information scattered around. And that is still working, and it still goes quite well. Absolutely.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for your practical experience. And I would like now to move to our next speaker. Finally, I would like to invite Mr. Mazen Abu Al-Ghanam from Strategy Object. And I have a question to you, Mazen. Interoperability and trust are recurring themes in today's discussion. Can you elaborate on digital trust, governance, and interoperability challenges in OCR-enabled customs and cross-border systems? The floor is yours, Mazen.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I hope that you will have a very happy 2006 ahead. Like it's a great start for our year, with diving into this interesting topic. I wanted to share our experience at Strategy Object on how we actually utilized, OCR in the AI environment. So as one of the questions in the or comments in the questions tab, they said that ISO in the 70s, they have, regulated or put some comments and criteria on the OCR, but unfortunately, AI is not being, up to the standards so far, and the use cases are enormous. And in the past 2 years, as some of the panelists mentioned, it increased dramatically the utilization of AI in customs and trade processes and logistics environment overall. So that's what we have been doing at Strategy Object, based on the challenges and impact of the complexity and the diverse documents. Of course, the customs are facing an increased demand on the accuracy and the transparency of those documents. Many manual hard copies are being exchanged, although some customs administrations are going fully digitalized, but still some customs administrations are still struggling to automate their processes and workflows. So with that, we need a solution, as Alexei, you mentioned at the beginning, the introduction, that we need a solution to assist customs administrations who are currently automating their processes to accept hard copies and paper documents to ingest in their systems and workflows and automatically, detect those. So as you all know, the challenges have been mentioned by most of my colleagues in the panel. Like the manual efforts and like for especially large declarations and even small declarations, it's time consuming for both customs officers and also for trade community, the brokers mainly, to finalize and fill out the customs declaration and comply with the requirements. So what the OCR and the AI will assist customs administration in, it will provide data quality by nature in structured and validated data before the submission, and of course, the cross-document reconciliation and discrepancies alerts, and providing audit trail as well, and the maker and checker controls. So this automation will support the policy in terms of regulations, frameworks, procedures, in terms of HS validation, and also the consistency across the different offices and even channels for better input. Of course, the quality of the data provides better output in terms of even the analytics, the reports, the risk engines, and so forth. So what we have over here that we provided, like the SO Savvy. SO stands for Strategy Object, and Savvy is the Smart AI Verification Interface, and the Wing Agent. So we provide our solution for both the customs administrations and also for the trade community. Basically, as my colleague, Mr. Yanal Hassauna mentioned in Abu Dhabi Customs, we follow the same logic, but in a different output, let's put it this way. So the trader will upload the documents and it will, through the OCR, it will extract the fields, and through our AI agent, it will identify the exact field in which data element or data field that it corresponds to in the customs declaration. And also it will cross-verify and flag the mismatch between the various documents, for example, the weight in the bill of lading versus the weight in the invoice or the value, or etc. So it will be based on predefined data field that our AI agent will cross-match the information and the data in those documents. So, and we expose this to the trader in order to generate a draft declaration that is fully complied with the regulations and the requirements in order to be submitted to the customs administration, including AI suggestion for the HS classification, as well as the duties and tax simulation for the traders, and a document checklist whether if you like a certain item, it will automatically detect what documents it requires by law or by the regulation in customs administration to be fulfilled. So basically, our AI verification interface, you just validate the document itself. So it will actually read the document, extract the information, but not only that, it will verify that it is the actual document that is required. For example, in some customs management systems, you might apply, you might upload a blank page and you just name it a certificate of origin, and like if it went into a green lane, the system will never, or a customs officer will never detect that there was no certificate of origin uploaded in the declaration, unless if it went to post-clearance audit, of course, and somebody actually checks that. No, our AI agent will detect that this is for all the commercial documents. It will auto-classify them and validate them and extract the document, and of course, the cross-check the documents, the invoice and the packing list, bill of lading, etc., and auto-classify by line item, the HS code, and of course, with the rationale and the level of confidence applied. It all can be exposed, of course, as APIs to be integrated with any customs management system. So basically, all the commercial documents will be uploaded. The SO Smart AI verification interface will classify and extract and validate, and also HS code verification. And the outputs will be a mismatch report between the various documents, verified fields based on predefined fields, of course, and the audit trail and archiving system, in addition to a decision support mechanism. So this is just a screenshot of our solution, which actually there are 9 verification of key fields that are predefined. As you can see, it will flag the differences and the anomalies between the various documents, and it will flag for the customs officer, for what are the missing information or the inconsistency and this match between the various documents. So, of course, also we extract the information from the commercial documents, mainly even if in the natural language, the commercial description of the item in the invoice and the other attached documents, and we will auto classify this line item and give you the probability of the proper HS code. As you can see, the declared commodity was Mercedes-Benz, and then the AI agent will give you the top 5 probabilities for this HS code, and it's with an accuracy of 89%. We are talking about an actual vehicle. So, of course, the customs and the brokers will decide whether to accept or modify based on the case. And our wing agent is similar. It is addressed to the traders to generate a draft declaration, which is almost 100% compliant with the requirements based on the attached documents. And of course, it will give you optional add-ons, for example, the duty and taxes simulation and the required documents based on the selected HS code. And like for the brokers, you can have a maker and a checker, of course, and you can design the workflow as you might deem appropriate. So the journey is basically very simple. You upload the documents, it auto extract the fields in the documents, and it will give you the right HS code classification, and it will provide you a checklist and validation versus the documents and the rules in the customs management system. And then it will simulate the duties and taxes, so that as a trader, you also know what will be the financial burden by submitting this declaration, and it will generate a ready-to-file customs declaration for the customs administration. This is a screenshot as well of an automated or auto-generated draft customs declaration. As you can see, it will extract all the information from the invoice, and it will fill out all the necessary fields with the quantities, units of measures, and the prices and the country of origin, etc. And it will give you the right HS code or the proposed HS code for each line item in the invoice. So I won't bother you with the benefits. Like it's very clear the benefits for everyone. What this tool will assist customs administrations and also traders and brokers for this in terms of the enhanced accuracy and also the consistent decisions and less congestion at the front desk and support channels. This is for customs administration. And for brokers or trade community, this will reduce the manual workload, post-entry modifications, and of course, minimize the errors, as I mentioned, and also the enables, and this is something that also is being called for, is to empower the SMEs and also small traders to comply with the complex regularity requirements. Some key indicative outcomes for the results, like, of course, it will reduce the processing of documents by 50 to 70% by customs officers. And also for the brokers, it will increase the first base acceptance of customs declaration for brokers, and also the, of course, the less validations and reworks for post-entry modification, and it will increase the declaration preparation time between 60 to 80%, depending on the size. So for security, privacy, and the ownership, of course, like this is should be owned by customs administration, and for the process data, the privacy and security controls should be and will be applied on all the data and the platform, and well-defined role-based access and audit logs for traceability and governance. And of course, the optional depends on the administration, there should be document archival and versioning, to verify. For example, in customs administrations, the uploaded documents, auto-generated the customs declaration by the trader can be cross-checked by another process that is being done by the customs administration and by a centralized declaration management and reporting system. I hope that I've been able to stick with my time, and I hope that all the information are clear, and I'm willing to take any question in the allocated time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Marzan. I used to be CEO of the company, the freight forwarding company, and what you have presented just now, it's like magic. I remember how hard was my declarant and the logistics people. They were working with it, a lot of documents, and they extracted it manually and to present in different system of different government agencies. And it was a nightmare because every time there were a lot of mistakes. And now you see that you just need to upload all of this and the system will analyze all the documents, will understand the semantic and what is this document about, it will check the compliance, and even the HS code is really cool that you have identify HS code, and depends on the code, you can show that what kind of documents you have to present for the governments. Wow, it's really impressive. And the question I have, what is the market you're working with? What is the customs you can file the declaration? Because from customs to customs, the format and the requirements is different. And is it really takes long to land your solution in different countries? How do you see this?
Well, actually, we are in strategy object. We already have more than 100 customs administrations are our clients because they are using our framework, for building customs management systems. And now we are providing this solution. So we can easily integrate. It's basically just exposing API, receiving the documents from the trader, uploading them on our platform, and then we can easily expose it on a structured data format and APIs to be ingested into any customs management system. So it just needs some analysis, checking the data, getting the taxation rules and engine and the rules in the customs management system of any country, and then we can easily identify the requirements and implement this solution. And I just want to also highlight another use case that might be used by customs administration. It will reduce the time for the customs officers, especially who are verifying the documents, or especially, let's use the term of the yellow lane declarations. Instead of reviewing each document with this mismatch report, they can easily go to the specific document where the mismatch is, and they can review it, and it will make their lives easier. Or customs administrations might utilize this to flag those declarations for post-clearance audit, and then whenever they have the time, they can revisit those declarations and do a proper audit on it. So as you mentioned at the beginning, it's not replacing the work of customs officer, but just to empower them and utilize the resources to focus really on where they should look at.
Okay. And what is the primary market you're working?
Well, actually, as I said, we are present in more than 100 countries. We have direct clients with more than 46 who are using our solutions. In the region, we have several countries that are using our group, solutions in Egypt, in Jordan, in Bahrain, also in UAE. We have 3 customs administrations in UAE that are utilizing our solutions.
Great. Thank you so much. I saw that we got a lot of questions in the chat, and already 39, almost 40 questions were addressed by our speakers. Thank you very much for that. I don't think we need to repeat, but I see that we have 4 hands, and I can pick the question from the floor. Maria, can you? I don't know how it's possible not to allow our speaker to. Yeah, Maria, you can unmute yourself and then to ask.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel I have no control of that. I'm Maria Buskov, and I'm working in the Norwegian Food Safety Authority, and we are working on the ECERT certification or converting to the digital exchange of health certificates for food. And I'm very concerned about it was a very good seminar, by the way. Thank you very much, all of you, both for your leadership and for very interesting presentations. The thing I'm wondering about is how do we get rid of paper? Because there are so many, as one of the presenters said, there are a lot of documents that are being sent all over the world using paper, and it's very manual work for everybody to use paper and to produce it, to use it, to distribute it. So I would love to have the international attention on how to use other type of, how we can be paperless, either with the use of the XMLs or with the use of PDFs. Is there any effort being done to achieve that goal? That was actually just a thought or a question. I don't know.
Thank you, Maria. Who wants to take this question from our speaker? How to get rid of papers? We will not be having work if we will get rid of papers.
Let me step into this, Alexei. Basically, it depends on the government approach, let's say, or actual, appetite to get rid of papers. Because some of the governments, they don't accept now any actual documents to be submitted, and it's all system-to-system integration with single window, etc., and so on. So actually, it depends on the level of maturity in utilizing the advanced technologies in any customs administration or any government overall. So some governments, as we said, they are struggling just to automate their processes, and some governments and countries, they went to fully digitalize their processes. So we are. And the awareness as well, this is something that, a key element, and the willingness of the current government officials to accept going forward and removing all the barriers, mainly legal barriers, to accept digital submission. This is the key element that we should be all pushing to advise the governments to change their legislation to accept digital transactions.
I agree with you, because there is a lot of paper being sent all over the world. It's not necessary, but I think according to this seminar, I think we are ready to to start pushing for the legislation changes actually all over the world, because we need it, all of us.
Yes, we are trying to push this every webinar. So it's a kind of our contribution to this strategic goal. Anyone wants to comment as well? So before I will ask another question.
I like to give a comment to Maria. I like the question a lot. I think it's as well what we see now. We help companies to transfer papers into data, so they can share data instead of papers. So I think even AI is already helping companies to do this. So maybe we take the first steps now, and it takes a couple of years, but I believe eventually we will have way less paper.
Yeah, indeed, the demand from the private sector is now raising, I would say, there for the automation. It's really good. Even the small and medium enterprise now, they're looking for solution how to reduce the cost, and using these technologies really helps. I have one more hand. Is Ragat. Ragat, can you unmute yourself and ask a question? While we're waiting for Ragat to join, and I have a hand from Kalyan Ravella. Please unmute yourself and you can ask a question. By the way, while we are waiting for the question, I have a question, and it was quite often in the chat. What is the back end of your solution? Can every speaker tell us a little bit the truth? about what kind of LLM and other solutions you're using based on your system. Who wants to start? Some technical details on how this really works. Sven?
So yeah, so we from Dockart, we're not making use from one model. So we made our software in this way that we can change models, and we also look to what kind of model we need. So when you explained that you have some really difficult documents with a lot of stamps on it, we know that some models work better for that than other kind of models, and also obviously it's more cost efficient. So we generate our own model, and then we always see what model we can add to that. So that can be Gemini or OpenAI or any kind of model that will that we like to use. So we are not actually really strict to one model.
Any recommendations you can say that, or you better to start with this model and then to plus this model, like to make a mix of the models from your practical experience?
From practical experience, we see it's very difficult to get a really high accuracy when you start working with the models yourself, because you have to add a lot of information and knowledge to make sure that they give you the correct answer. But we've seen that Gemini can be quite well. And when you implement it yourself, you can reach maybe an accuracy already of 40 or 50% doing it yourself. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yanal, please. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Actually, it's dependent on the nature of the business. So Abu Dhabi Customs is a government entity, and we have a government standards related to the security. So whatever we want to implement, it should be following a standard in the security across the government. Other thing is the government is adopting the AI across all government entities in Abu Dhabi. And this is part of the strategy of the government, where they provided the engine as a platform to host all the development of the AI platform. In Abu Dhabi Customs, we adopted a model that we build a platform that connect to database, take from the data, execute it through a workflow, and return it back into action into the systems. Not an AI use case in different systems. It's not silo based on the system. It's a centralized AI platform that developed using multiple technologies based on a standard. And we followed this using a well-structured governance model, operating model, and platform for the AI. I can give examples of the technologies like the OpenAI for the LLM. We have document intelligence from Microsoft for the OCR, AI search from Azure, and multiple tools connected together to make the access and the AI run in a very secure environment. Thank you.
Isan?
Yeah. Thank you, Alexi. Yeah, as you know, I mentioned in my presentation, it's not easy to develop AI in government sector. It's a complex actually. But however, I optimistic that to develop this, the important thing is the data pipelines itself. So if a government have the good data, they will easy to move to develop their own AI. But beyond technology, we have to give attention to regulatory framework, where are we ready to in ethics or data privacy, so we can guarantee cross-border liability laws to support this AI working across nation. That's my additional comments. Let's see.
Yeah, indeed, challenges are obvious and not easy to implement in government sector, but it's still, a lot of experiments, and we see that we have a leader already in the world.
Yeah, maybe other colleagues can easy to use LLM model using Gemini or else, but we have to take attention when we deploy our data to those LLM. So instead of we deploy it to common LLM, we have to think again, oh, should we deploy in our own LLM? And it's not easy
Indeed.
for our case.
Indeed. And Marzen, do you want to comment before we will wrap up?
Well, actually, in Strategy Object, we have developed our own AI model and also, algorithms that we are using, and of course, it is in compliant with the internet, like with the best standards. Let's put it this way, and also we should abide as well in our implementation, as Yanal mentioned at the beginning, with the local and the specific government, policies and regulations to govern the AI utilization in trade processes. So this can be also tailored to specific needs of the government, since we also build our solution on our own framework. So we don't use any third-party framework to build our solutions and applications.
Okay. Thank you so much. I see that we got really a lot of questions, and thanks to you, we addressed most of them. And now I would like to pass the floor to Kip-Jin Kim. He is a senior economist at the Asian Development Bank, for wrap up in this session and provide his perspective on this topic. Kip-Jin.
Yeah, thank you, Alexei. Yeah, I'd like to thank all the speakers for their excellent presentation and intervention. So I learned a lot, and then it's kind of a reality check for the use of AI in trade facilitation. So I guess most of our audience would have enjoyed would enjoy. So let me just briefly highlight just few key takeaways, including some observation and implications, plus some policy relevancy. So it was quite clear to me that the AI-powered data extraction and OCR has moved well beyond simple document digitalization. So it can extract data, validate, and also detect inconsistencies, and etc. So we are seeing real values being realized. So as we heard from customs officials and other private sector experts. So what some of the implication that I learned from this is, as you know, OCR or data extraction sits at the upstream end of the digital trade processes. So it is very essential to get things right from the start. So I think this is the way I see the discussion. And then the quality of this initial extraction has some cascading implication towards the downstream validation, risk management, interoperability, and ultimately trust issues in this automated AI-powered custom system. And the second implication that I got here is that AI becoming more capable doesn't mean that human intervention is no longer needed. So as Indonesia Customs Official, I think Isan mentioned that even though AI has very high accuracy rate, but sometimes it may not be enough for customs to be satisfied, right? So basically, technology can facilitate and accelerate to support the decision, but they are not the decision maker. I think we got to make sure then this could lead to some policy implications, because AI systems are now becoming more autonomous. So trust and governance should become critical, I believe. So it means that human oversight is going to be more important, and then clear rules on when and how human intervention should be in place. I think this is going to be very important. And then from policymakers, including international institutions like UN ESCAP and ADB. So we will have a role to play in supporting digital public infrastructure while promoting the responsible AI use. So one aspect that we kept mentioning, this is also important in the era of AI, like legal recognition of digital documents. So AI is basically 100% of digital base. So then still cross-border legal recognition of digital document is still critical. This is the kind of message that I see from here. So there are a number of issues that we still need to better understand regarding the use of AI in trade facilitation. Taking these opportunities, I'd like to highlight that the ESCAP and ADBs have recently launched a survey on this topic. So AI use in trade facilitation. So it has been shared with relevant experts and stakeholders already. We hope you can join this effort to help diagnose the key issues and challenges. So I think the URL for this webpage, for this survey has been shared in the chat box. Please have a look. And with that, I will turn it back to our moderator, to Alexei, to wrap up the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kijin. Indeed, we are taking a lot of attention to the AI, and it is not our first webinar about AI agentic. So now we have focused on OCR plus agentic AI and other stuff. And as you mentioned, ESCAP and ADB has just recently launched this survey. And please use the link in the chat to see what is the survey about. And please help us to get as more data as we can. Then we will publish a nice report on how to use AI and what is the real examples in the world we can promote. Thank you so much for that. And on behalf of UN ESCAP, I would like to sincerely thank all of our speakers for their valuable contribution and all of our participants for their active engagement. The recording and presentation materials will be shared with registered participants. We look forward to continuing the conversation and collaboration on advancing cross-border paperless trade. Please reach out if you have any topic to suggest for the next webinar. And thanks once again. And we wish you a very pleasant day ahead. Thank you so much. I would like to take one more picture with all of our speakers. Please, if you may, you can, Who is able to open this camera? 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. Looking forward to see you again. And I will be going to WCO Tech Conference. I hope to see most of you there.
See you in Abu Dhabi. Welcome to Abu Dhabi. Thank you so much. Thank you for the session.
See you, Alexei. Thank you.
See you again.
Thank you very much.
Bye.